struggles in the family. Just made me kind of go.
The courtroom fell silent. What Robyn said next left everyone in disbelief. Her voice, trembling yet defiant, rang through the room like a bell. No one was ready to hear. Cameras rolled, reporters froze, and even the judge blinked, stunned. This wasn't just a family dispute anymore. It had become a full-blown public reckoning. After years of rumors, whispers, and awkward TLC confessionals, the truth was finally being laid bare. And it wasn't pretty. This moment wasn't about legalities. It was about betrayal, broken promises, and decades of emotional erosion masked behind the curtain of plural marriage. At the center of it all stood Robyn Brown, the wife Kody legally married. The woman many fans believe became the wedge between him and the rest of the family. Next to her sat Kody, visibly shaken, no longer the confident patriarch we once saw juggling 4 marriages and boasting about unity. His usual bravado was gone, replaced by silence and that trademark jaw clench. He does when things start falling apart. Across from them, Janelle Brown sat with years of disappointment etched into her posture. But she didn't look defeated. She looked ready. And right beside her, Mary Brown, the first wife, the woman whose loyalty was tested again and again, sat upright with her hands folded tightly in her lap. There was no smile, no small talk, just tension and truth waiting to erupt. Hi friends, I'm Mara, and this is TLC's next chapter. If you've been following the Sister Wives saga as closely as I have, then you already know this isn't just reality TV anymore. It's a real-life shift and the mask has officially slipped. So make sure you hit that subscribe button because today we're talking about everything that actually happened. No fake drama, no made-up dialogue, just the real story from the episodes themselves. And I need to hear from you. What did you think about that courtroom scene? Drop your thoughts in the comments because today we're walking into the very heart of the storm and exposing every piece of truth this family tried so hard to hide. For years, the Brown family sold us the dream of plural marriage, a big blended family built on trust, faith, and mutual sacrifice. Kody with his 4 wives, Mary, Janelle, Christine, and Robyn presented their lifestyle as something different, even admirable. Each wife had her own household, her own struggles, her own children, but there was always that unspoken promise. We're in this together. Whether it was navigating jealousies, raising 18 kids, or moving across state lines for a fresh start, the Browns prided themselves on unity. They weren't perfect, but they were bonded by belief in what they always called the principle. But somewhere along the way, the foundation started to crack. And let's be honest, it didn't just crack on its own. It started the moment Robyn entered the picture. Robyn wasn't just wife number 4. She came in with kids from a previous marriage, financial baggage, and a very different dynamic. From the moment she joined the family in season 1, something shifted. At first, the other wives welcomed her, but as the seasons rolled on, it became clear Kody was playing favorites. The emotional energy he used to pour into balancing all his marriages started funneling toward Robyn. Whether it was how much time he spent at her house, the decisions they made together without consulting the others, or how quick he was to defend her, Robyn wasn't just a wife. She had become the wife. Janelle, always level-headed and practical, started to notice at first. She didn't say much at first, but her frustration showed in the small moments. Those awkward glances in family meetings, the way she spoke about finances, the time she mentioned being on her own. Mary, already emotionally distanced from Kody, quietly slipped further out of inner circle. The tension grew thicker with every episode and the viewers could feel it. What once felt like a family built on equality was now looking a lot more like a traditional marriage with a few lingering side characters. And then came Coyote Pass. That piece of land was supposed to represent a fresh start. All the wives had dreams of building their forever homes on it, a space where the family could finally be together physically and emotionally. They walked that land together, mapped out where each house would go, talked about the kids growing. Up side by side, it was hopeful, symbolic, it meant something. But over time, that dream started collecting dust. Construction stalled. Decisions stopped being made. Kody stopped including the other wives in serious planning. Robyn, meanwhile, was living comfortably in a $1 million home while the others were left to sort out their housing on their own. Janelle was living in an RV on the land. Mary was renting, feeling further removed with each passing year. The shared dream started feeling more like Robyn's dream, paid for, at least in part, by money meant for everyone. You could see it in the way Janelle confronted Kody on camera, in the way Mary stared blankly during family discussions. The promise of equality had clearly been broken, and the deeper the family got into their financial dealings, the more obvious it became. Someone wasn't being honest. The courtroom wasn't meant to be a battleground, but that's exactly what it became. The tension was so heavy, you could feel it through the screen. Season 18 brought us the build-up. Season 19 showed the fallout. Cameras didn't catch every word said inside, but what we did see through testimony, sit-downs, and reactions was more than enough to piece together the full emotional weight of that day. Janelle sat tall, steady, not angry, but firm. You could see it in her eyes. She wasn't there for revenge. She was there for truth. She calmly laid out the numbers, the agreements, the promises Kody had made to her over the years. She talked about Coyote Pass, how each wife had poured money into the family fund, believing it would lead to a shared future. And then she revealed how when she went to access what was supposed to be a mutual account, the money was gone or moved without her knowledge. Robyn's name kept coming up. Mary followed, quieter, but no less powerful. Her voice cracked as she talked about the emotional investment, the decades of loyalty, the sacrifices she made even when her marriage had grown cold. She had trusted Kody even after the emotional distance, even after the catfishing scandal. She had stayed for the family, for the kids, and now she said that trust had been cashed in and handed over to one woman. Robyn sat beside Kody, visibly distressed, clinging to tissues, eyes swollen. When it was her turn, she denied any knowledge of mishandled funds. She said she never asked for more than the others, that she didn't know what money was where. "I thought everything was being taken care of fairly," she said, voice shaking. Then she broke down crying, saying, "I didn't want any of this. I didn't break this family." The courtroom watched in silence, but you could see the disbelief in Janelle's face. Even Mary didn't look convinced. And then Kody took the stand. Or, at least in the confessional-style moments we've come to know on Sister Wives, we heard his version. Defensive, flustered, almost angry. They're acting like I took something from them. He snapped in one episode. "I did what I had to do to protect my legal wife and her kids." He said Christine had left. Mary had emotionally checked out. And Janelle, well, she was never really a partner in the emotional sense. He said he felt abandoned, so he made decisions that felt right to him. But those decisions included consolidating assets, moving funds into accounts that only he and Robyn had access to, and allowing Robyn to stay in a luxury home while Janelle lived in an RV. The other wives didn't know where the money went. But Robyn had a home, a nanny, and security while the rest were scrambling. Kody tried to justify it all by saying he was doing what was best for the family, but to Janelle and Mary, there was no family left. Only Robyn and Kody's version of it. The judge, visible in brief camera cuts, didn't deliver a dramatic verdict, but their expression told a story, confused, disappointed, perhaps even sympathetic to the women who had clearly given decades of their lives to something that no longer existed. The courtroom wasn't about guilt or innocence. It was about accountability. And in that moment, the silence that followed Robyn's breakdown said more than any verdict ever could. After the courtroom tension, Robyn's entire image seemed to shift subtly at first, then almost theatrically. Gone was the woman juggling sister-wife dynamics. What we started seeing more and more in Season 18, and especially into Season 19, was Robyn stepping fully into the role of Kody's one and only. The floral dresses, the soft-spoken tone, the Pinterest-style living room with vintage signs about family and faith. It was a complete transformation into the classic traddy fae aesthetic. A woman devoted entirely to her husband, her home, and this picture-perfect version of domestic life. She wasn't just dressing differently, she was presenting differently. You'd catch her on camera lighting candles, gently folding laundry, talking about how her dream was for the family to live together again. But her actions didn't line up with the dream. Her house, the one Kody spent most of his time at, was the only home that stayed untouched by chaos. While Janelle was hauling water in an RV and Mary was floating between rentals, Robyn had her big decorated home with all the trimmings. And it wasn't just the space, it was the lifestyle. No sign of financial struggle. A nanny still coming by. Kids in private lessons, security cameras, stability. But was she happy? In her confessionals, Robyn's voice would tremble. She'd say things like, "I didn't ask for this. I wanted sister wives,